Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News, held live Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for today's lead story, here's our host, Chillie Falls. Hey, good morning, the crazy fat travel guy here with Travel and Cruise Industry News for the 17th day of December, 2019. I'm coming to you from Forest, Virginia, in Bedford County, right near Lynchburg. And I've got my hat on, my bah humbug hat. I'm not a real big Christmas person. My family makes me wear the bah humbug hat starting in Thanksgiving. So I decided to put it on this morning. Actually, under these lights and stuff, I'll end up sweating like a pig before it's over with. So anyway, for those of you, messed up my hair good. Not that there was much problem with that. Let's see who we got here. Tammy, good morning, Tammy. Glad to see you back, and Gretchen again. You guys are here bright and early. Always good to see you. There's a couple things we want to cover. Got several little stories to get to today. Nothing major. But first, a little bit of business out of the way. You know, we keep growing. We're slow like a turtle. I'm a big fat guy, so a turtle is a very apropos. We're up to 1,653 subscribers now. And it keeps growing, three or four every day. So if you're new, and welcome to this channel, welcome to the show for the first time. We do meet here on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays at 6 o'clock and discuss travel and cruise industry news. And then we do live broadcasts or videos if anything major happens in the meantime between shows. So I try to keep you guys posted on major stuff. So if you're new, welcome. And quite frankly, folks, some of you know that I'm nuts to start with, but I do want to introduce you to one of our new subscribers. That is Luna Lovegood. Now, Luna Lovegood, if you happen to live in a city, if you're a city folk, Luna Lovegood is a chicken. Now, why would I point out that Luna Lovegood is a chicken? Well, because one of the things that I've got to do for the rest of this week and taking care of my niece's pet sitting business while she's running around in New Zealand, is I have to go out to Duck Road. Now, folks, I couldn't make this up. I'm going out to Duck Road to visit chickens. And while I'm out visiting chickens, like Luna Lovegood, whose main point of existence is to escape, and she's a radical escape artist that tries to talk all of her compatriot chickens into escaping with her. But anyway, I'm going out to visit the chickens and teach them dance lessons. So we're giving dance lessons to chickens for the rest of this week on Duck Road. Folks, I just couldn't make that up. That's impossible. So anyway, we do have some serious stuff to discover today. If some of you saw the broadcast information, saw that one of the things I talked about was a record from our friends down in Port Everglades. That was those totals came from Adventure of the Seas, Allure of the Seas, Carnival Magic, Celebrity Edge, both the Eurodam and New Staten Dam, the Regal Princess and Sky Princess, all there, and the Balearia, I don't know, it's some crazy name, which is a ferry that runs from Fort Lauderdale to Freeport in the Bahamas. But that's the new record: 55,964 passengers in one day. Now, concurrently, at the same time, it's hard to believe that there's actually two cruise records fell on the same day, but it did. At the same time yesterday, St. Kitts. Many of you have been to St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean. It's one of the Eastern Caribbean stops on many cruise ships. And we had a story here a couple weeks ago about they were completing the second dock. As you can see, both docks are open. And yesterday, they set a new record with 4 ships docked at Port Zante in St. Kitts, first time in the island's history, which brought in a total of 10,629 cruise passengers to its shore, with the 2 ships moored at the newly constructed second cruise pier. So that is pretty cool. There's Celebrity Summit, Seabourn Odyssey, and Anthem of the Seas, and the Britannia, which is P&O, I think, were the 4 ships that were in St. Kitts yesterday. So they set a record also. So again, my hat's off to these folks. Always nice that when in the cruise industry, when something positive happens, that we don't have to talk about negative crap all the time. Okay, let's see who we got here in the way of we lost you on the so Tammy's saying, all right, let's see, let's back up here. Gretchen needs another cup of coffee. Gretchen, I always keep a cup of coffee handy. That sounds like a good idea. From this is that's me. One of my grandkids made this when they were 3 or 4 years old or something, and I still use it every day. Tammy loves the humbug hat. Her husband has a shirt. That's cool. Bonnie, where are you? You disappeared from Facebook? I did? Huh. Well, I don't know. Bonnie's saying that I disappeared from Facebook. I have no idea. I'll have to look into that. I can't do technical stuff right now. If you were watching on Facebook, I hope you found me on YouTube. Sorry about that. Anyway, she says, yay to Port Everglades. I remember when maybe there were 2 ships in that port on a Saturday or Sunday. It was more of the commercial port. And she's never been to St. Kitts. St. Kitts is a neat, it's a lovely place. One of the Caribbean islands that I like. I like any of the Caribbean islands. What can I say? So anyway, everybody seems to be chatting back and forth. That's pretty cool. And Bonnie says my live stream suddenly disappeared. Well, let's see. It shows that I'm on there. In the meantime, while we're sitting here, let me go over here and check and see if it shows up currently. Okay, so why that happened, folks, I have no earthly idea. Maybe it's because of the Bahumbug hat. That's a Bahumbug morning. Okay, a couple other things to cover before we continue with all this silliness. Now, where am I here? I got to do this. I'm still learning how to use this control board, folks, so you'll have to forgive me. Celebrity Cruises came out with a new program, which I'm surprised this hasn't been done before. But if you're booked on a celebrity cruise and have a late flight home on debarkation day, Celebrity Cruise is now offering a program where you can enjoy a late afternoon stay on the ship for cruises out of Port Everglades. Here's how it works. The cost of extend your stay starts at $79 for adults, $39 for kids, and includes a classic beverage package. You put your luggage out the night before your cruise ends, and it will be offloaded to the custom luggage area on Pier 25, and it's marked as extend your stay and kept separate from other bags. You can stay in your cabin until 9 a.m. As per federal regulations, all guests in Fort Lauderdale need to debark before anyone is allowed to go back on board. So then you leave the luggage because they're going to move it for you. You go out and then come back on board, and you can spend the day on the ship. And if you've got a late flight and stuff, of course, the ship's going to be loading that afternoon with new people coming on board. But that's a pretty cool program. So you can stay on board. It costs money. Of course, cruise lines always, they're going to get theirs. That's just the way they do things. So that's Celebrity Cruises. Let's see, what else do we have this morning? Over the weekend, my friend Bruce broke the story about Holland America's situation with the new Amsterdam having azipod problems. Here again, folks, we're back into this business. A year ago, I never heard of an azipod. And my goodness, we talked about azipods so damn much, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, that's the propeller that runs a cruise ship, and they got several of them. And as what propels the ship anymore. So it'd be interesting to know if all these problems, because there are different cruise lines that have had it. Royal Caribbean's had problems, Carnival's had problems. Now we got Holland American with problems. One of the P&O ships last week had azipod issue in Tenerife. I wonder if the azipods are all manufactured by the same people. If there's some kind of combination there. Here I'm trying to make a conspiracy theory out of this, and when there's not one. But I'm just wondering, again, I don't know. It's over my head how this silly things work anyway. But anyway, the New Amsterdam had azipod issues. And basically, they were in Port Everglades. They got into port. Trying to get them repaired. They canceled because of the issue. They canceled a cruise that was scheduled to leave on Sunday. They were able to move some of their folks to their sister ship, which is the new Amsterdam, which happened to be in port at the same time. And while the ship can safely sail with one azipod, it requires special regulatory authorities to approve it, which takes time, I guess. So that was going to definitely affect the sailing Sunday. So they canceled and gave folks a full refund. Some could be transferred to a different ship, to the new Amsterdam, which was also sailing that day. Some were able to rebook on the Koningsdam. But anyway, we still have not heard about the next cruise on the New Amsterdam. They're supposed to announce that sometime later on today. So at this point, we don't know if they were able to fix it in port or if they've got to go further with it. Do you remember Carnival had that thing set up where they set up that mobile at water repair station and picked the sucker up out of the water and fixed it. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Again, if you had cruises booked on them, sorry about that. The it's gotten screwed up. Yeah, this is just something that seems to be happening all the time anymore. Of course, the new Amsterdam, was launched in 2010. It carries around 2,000 passengers and a crew of about 1,000. Wow, just one of those situations we don't have any control over, but it just seems like there's an awful lot of that happening. All right, one other thing that I wanted to mention this morning, we've talked ad nauseum about the political unrest and the protests going on in Hong Kong. The unrest in Hong Kong has led to as much as 5 billion, that's with a B, in capital outflow from investment funds in the Asian financial hub to leave Hong Kong. So people that had investments there are pulling them out like crazy. This information comes from the Bank of England. The flight of capital, which accounted for nearly 1.25% of the region's GDP, began after the government pushed for a bill that would allow extradition to mainland China, according to Central Bank's Financial Stability Report. And that started the protests. And the protests are ongoing, have been violent at times. There's all kinds of issues, and they've been huge in number. Analysts at Goldman Sachs said in October that about $4 billion in deposits have left Hong Kong. So, people are pulling their money out of there like crazy. And at some point in time, somebody's got to wake up and realize that this is a major hit to their economy, and maybe think about doing something about it. So anyway, that's going on in Hong Kong. All right, let's go back and check our comments again to see if, let's see. Bonnie says, I got to see John Azipods on the Ada Nova. There's a YouTube documentary of the ship being built. Yeah, I did see that yesterday. I think I saw that someplace. You're exactly right. I remember when azipods were called azimuth, when they were new and the ships were suddenly able to move sideways to dock next to the pier. I had forgotten about that. Back when Bonnie and I started cruising, I think right after Columbus got off the boat. And the ships back in there were a whole lot different. But yeah, she's right about that. I had forgotten about how much they're used in the docking situation. I was thinking primarily of their speed once they're at sea. So Bonnie, as usual, you're right about that. My schedule for the next week is going to, I don't know, it's probably going to change somewhere along in the line. My schedule for taking care of my niece's business for the next couple of weeks is nuts, just nuts. It's not as bad as it was Thanksgiving week, because that was the busiest week I had all year for Amanda. But it's pretty crazy, especially Christmas week itself. I do have a number of nights where I'll be staying at clients' homes. I'll be at the horse farm for 4 or 5 nights. And then I'm at another house with a dog, taking care of a dog, which that particular house I will be able to come home some, because I can bring the dog with me. He gets along okay with Brat the cat. Brat the cat's not real happy about it. Brat the cat, by the way, Brat the cat does like me to be in my Bah Humbug hat. He gave me approval to wear it on air this morning. I'm surprised he's not yelling. He was yelling just before I went on the air, trying to con everybody into believing that I'm starving him to death, as usual. Typical of that silly cat. But anyway, he's running around the house. But he might be back asleep. Who knows? Because I do carry crazy hours around here. So anyway, that about wraps it up. Yeah, Bonnie says pet sitting at Christmas time. You got to give Brat extra treats. Yeah, I got some treats, by the way. I did get some treats for Brat the cat. And maybe he had some treats and went to sleep. He sleeps a lot. Of course, he's an old man. He's old and crotchety, just like I am. But yeah, my sister asked me last night when I was going to be available to do Christmas. And I told her I didn't know. Because that whole week I'm gone. I'm not gone. I'm in town, but I'm out. And so I think we're probably going to do Christmas on Christmas Eve, maybe have dinner, and I'll leave late and go back out to. That's actually I'm at the horse farm then. So, but yeah, that's one of the drawbacks to a holiday is I don't get a chance to spend it with family, and I'm out with the animal friends. I'll take care of them. So it comes with the territory. Okay, Tammy says, can you really get a ride to beach at Kings Wharf for Lady G for $7? Getting mixed info. Kings Wharf, wow. I don't recall. I'll have to check on that, Tammy. I'm not sure. I have seen that, but I'm not sure if that, in fact, was from a reliable source. But I'll check on that for you. And Bonnie says she spends every holiday with Bubba and Princess. Yeah, Bubba and Princess, they're a couple of our Florida friends down there with Bonnie. And all the cats too. She's got a bunch of cats that seems to eat at her house. So one other thing, folks, I have been trying, and I'll just make mention of this before we go on. I have been spending some time as I've had time this week, working on getting Chillie chats going again. As most of you know, I did Chillie chats before. I've interviewed a couple people when we had the old Google Hangout platform. And now that I have the new platform, which is my friends at StreamYard. Oh boy, my mind went blank. But my friends at StreamYard, so if you're interested in doing live stream, these are the guys to go with. You can use that that link, and I get credit for it. So it's a fabulous platform, and it's going to be great for doing interviews. So I've been working on getting that going again, and I've sent several requests out. I've got a request in for Public Relations Department of Holland American to talk about the refurbishment on the Nordam, which just came out, and she's on her way to Australia now. One of the ships that does Alaska. I have not heard back from that yet. I've got a request into Generali Insurance about their travel insurance program, and to get them to come on the air and talk about insurance. I'm fascinated with their website and calculating travel insurance and what all it's covered with the issues, medical issues and transportation issues and so forth, if they ever happen. And it's not near as expensive as I thought it was going to be. But I want to talk to somebody from Generali Insurance and have them on the air for another show. I even sent a message this morning. One of our Traveling with Bruce friends, Tom Henry, who's from, he's from down the road here. He's from Richmond, Virginia, close by, who happens to be in down in Port Canaveral this morning. He's running around trying to film the Lady G coming into port this morning. So he was out there at like 4 o'clock waiting for the ship to come in so he could film it coming in to the port. All right, yeah, Tom's nuts. He's like me. All these travel people are nuts. But anyway, Tom's getting ready to go on another cruise. He just got back from one about a week ago. And I know he does a lot of things with Bruce, and I don't want to take away from what he does with Bruce, and I'm certainly not trying to cut in on Bruce's territory. But I thought it would be cool to do a live interview from on board his next cruise, which I guess he'll probably leave tonight, or I think tonight, since he's down there. They flew in late last night. So probably he's getting on board ship today. It'd be fun to do a live interview from on board the ship, or possibly at one of the ports of call. I don't have any idea on the strength of Wi-Fi signals and if that would even work. Maybe that's something I need to ask my buddies down at StreamYard about Sunday when they do their chat show for all their customers. I ask them if anybody's tried that yet from the Caribbean or a ship on board a ship or whatever. So working on getting that. And of course, I tried again yesterday to get a hold of my buddy Kyle, and he's back in the Bahamas again. He flew a plane load of pet supplies in for animals. So not only is he taking supplies in for people, he's taking supplies in for pets too. But a whole plane load of pet supplies that he took in yesterday. So my hat's off to him. One of these days, we'll get him on to do a chat as well. It's just a matter of getting our schedules together. So keep looking. We'll be talking about doing some of that. Oh yeah, Bonnie says Tom's going on the NCL Sky, the Norwegian Sky. So yeah, Bonnie has. I can flash this up. I never can remember to do that. He's in Port Canaveral now. I met Tom and his wife Cindy last month in Boca when he came back from a cruise. Yeah, he was on the Norwegian Gym, I think, last month. But anyway, good folks. So I haven't heard back from him yet because he's out running around this morning. I already know that he's out running around looking for the Lady G coming into Port Canaveral. So anyway, that boy, where's my mind today? I didn't even think about it. This has been brought to you by my friends at Scooter Round. I almost left them out completely. So if you if you're going on a cruise or any kind of travel, even if you're flying someplace, then you have mobility issues, the folks that take care of this are Scooter Round. Bonnie, our friend Bonnie, and I both use Scooter Round. My mobility issues, I can't walk more than about 30 yards without huffing and puffing like a maniac. And at Bonnie's suggestion, I started using Scooter Round, and it made a tremendous difference for me on a cruise. So whatever your mobility issues might be, whether you need a scooter, a walker, a wheelchair, those of you that have breathing issues, you have to have oxygen supplies because you can't take those on airplanes. Scooter Round is the folks that'll take care of them, and you can arrange it and have them have whatever the issues waiting for you in your cabin when you get on your cruise ship. And folks, you're spending that money for a cruise. Enjoy it. Don't struggle if you have issues. Bite the bullet and spend a little extra money and make it so that you can enjoy it and get your money's worth. Made it all the difference in the world. I've already got mine booked for my next 2 cruises coming up in February. There's the link down down there across the screen now that you can use if you want to book it yourself. Use that little SRN number 11137, and I get credit for it. Or you can contact me. There's the phone number you can call, or you can contact me, leave a comment on either on this channel or on one of my videos. I always check all those comments and stuff, and I will get back to you and I'll quarterback the deal for you. I'll make all the arrangements and so forth, and get your scooter waiting for you, or wheelchair, or whatever the product is for your next cruise. They're great folks, easy to work with, highly recommend them. And especially if you're like me and getting up in years and have issues with the walking and standing in line and all those things that we do have to go through with on a cruise. Again, I highly recommend Scoot Around. So just get in touch with me and we'll take care of that. So that about wraps us up for this morning, folks. Anything major happens between now and then, I will get it on the air as quickly as possible, or as a video, and you'll be notified if you need to. What am I trying to say? If you subscribe and hit the little bell notification, you'll be notified as soon as I go live or when a new video is posted. So we'll try to keep you updated as much as possible. Busy couple weeks ahead. I'll be here. Not sure if I'll have some days that I can't, but we'll announce it as we go. You guys all have a great holiday. Be good and be good to each other, and we'll see you soon. That about wraps up today's travel and cruise industry news. We hope to see you next time. We meet here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This broadcast was produced by Chillie's Cruises and hosted by me, Chillie Falls.